Thanks for the kind introduction. He came up to me before and he was like, yeah, they're asking me, if I can introduce you, is that okay, or do you want someone else to do it? And I didn't know if I was going to go before or after Andrew did it, and I was like, Chris Beard is probably going to introduce Andrew, and Pat Yuckum would introduce me. So I decided to let Stu go ahead and do it, so save the embarrassment of knowing who my head coach is. Prepared a couple things here. But as soon as I was diagnosed, I turned to a lot of stories that I saw on the internet, probably a lot of things that were written or videos that I had seen out there, and those were the things that I looked up to try and get me through my time. And you can't, there's no bigger one than Jimmy Valvano's, don't give up, don't ever give up. And I took that to heart, right? I didn't give up on a lot of the things. I held on to one piece that I had going from my summer internship, and that was what I held on to first. And after that, I held on to going back to school in the fall. And eventually, held on to the piece of playing basketball. Not something that I thought I'd do right away, but was able to work up and get to that point where I got back to it. So, I held on to all of these three pieces, but there are a couple things that I did have to give up. None of those had to do with the fight of cancer, but there are two key things that I learned I had to give up in order to get to the point where I'm at today. And the first thing I gave up was this idea of perfectionism. My entire life I would describe myself as a perfectionist. I wanted to do everything to the best, and nothing, second tier was going to be okay. But this wouldn't have been possible if I needed to be perfect every step of the way. I had to kind of accept the embarrassment that I wasn't my old self. Getting back to playing basketball, I'd trip over my feet, I was losing to high schoolers in pickup. None of that was easy right off the bat, but I didn't let that imperfection deter me. Failing was totally a possibility going into this. Something that I learned is that, even if I was perfect, the world isn't. And, the deck's stacked against me. But, even if I didn't reach that perfection, it was worth striving for. And that was something that I committed to along the way. Second thing, and most powerful thing I gave up was this negativity. And the thing about cancer is that it doesn't matter whether it's leukemia or stomach cancer, all of these are brain cancers. And the thing about it is it just consumes your mind and takes over. And, I don't go 2 or 3 minutes without thinking about the fact that this is my life and this is, something that's going to stick with me for forever. But, I got a lot to be grateful for. And I can't let all that negativity drag me down or let that consume my thoughts completely. So, someone kind of taught me this power of positivity. And that, you're going to turn to this and everything in your life is going to be okay if you just look at it with this optimism. And, I really took that to heart, and I think that was one of the reasons I was able to do all this year and get back in the court. Here we are a year later, and everything that I didn't know if I was going to be able to accomplish, everything that seemed important to me. Division III stands for 3 things. You got basketball, you got your school, and then you got the job you're trying to get. And I was able to do all 3 of those things. It wasn't as glamorous as the Sports Center special might have made it seem. There were a lot of ups and downs, and we'd get minor improvements and then some major setbacks along the way. But here we are today, and I couldn't be more proud of being able to make it through that season. And the special thing about sports is that no matter how unlikely it may seem, whether it's Michigan State blocking the punt against Michigan, or UMBC beating the #1 seed Virginia, or stealing the ball from your arch rival and hitting the game-winning shot to beat them in the final second of the game, there's always a chance for me. And I'm being told that I have no chance of winning this battle, but I'm sure that all those people in St. Peter's were told that they had no chance of winning their battle either. So, just want to thank the Writers Association for giving me this award. Stu for being the first to share it with people, and to the Wallace family. Perry is very transformative in college basketball, and it's an honor to be in the same conversation as him. So I'd like to thank everyone for this award and thank the people that joined me today. This is really a special honor.